My next guest has a huge, and I mean huge, fight on Saturday, September 29th. It's not on pay-per-view, regular HBO. The fight is in Atlantic City, New Jersey at the Boardwalk Hall. I'm talking about the number one ranked contender by the WBC, ranked number 3 in the world by the Ring Magazine, Youngstown's new favorite son, Kelly the Ghost Pavlik, 31-0, 28 knockouts, hardest punching middleweight in the world. That was a huge introduction for you, Kelly. How are you doing?
Not bad. Doing pretty good.
After hearing that introduction, I mean, you got to have a smile on your face. I mean, fighting for the middleweight championship of the world against the middleweight champion of the world, the true middleweight champion of the world, Jermaine Taylor. How do you feel coming into this fight?
Very confident. I feel I'm good. You know, the training that we've been putting in is crazy. And we got sparring partners in that have the same style and really, really good hand speed, or actually a lot faster than Jermaine. And we're just doing well with them. Everything's going as planned.
Your opponent, Jermaine Taylor, also undefeated, 27-0, one draw, 17 knockouts. You got a little history with him before. You've seen him. It was a long time ago. It was in the amateurs.
There was really no comparison. It was definitely long ago. Now the difference is I got my man maturity, the strength. You know, I'm 25. I have the experience. So there's not too much you could take off that. I mean, if he wants to, that benefits me. You know, if he's going to live off that fight, then it's better for me.
Kelly, your last fight was a spectacular, spectacular one. I mean, Edison Miranda came in as the favorite. Everybody was talking about Edison Miranda. It's only a matter of time before Edison Miranda fights Jermaine Taylor and beats Jermaine Taylor. I mean, all the talk was on Edison Miranda. And you went in, you quietly disposed of Edison Miranda. I mean, you quietly going into the fight disposed of him, and then inside of the ring, I mean, fireworks were flying, punches were flying. You annihilated the guy, knocked him out in 7 rounds. And what did you exceed your own expectations?
Yeah, I thought we definitely would have beat him by decision, or maybe even a later round stoppage. But we stuck to the game plan going into that fight. Everybody kept talking about how strong Edison Miranda was, how hard he hit. And I watched his films on him, and yeah, he does it very, very hard. But we knew if we could back him up and keep him going backwards, there was nothing he'd be able to do. And I think that's what made the big difference in that fight.
Kelly, going back to your amateur days before we talk more about Jermaine Taylor, talk about, when you came into the gym. I mean, when Jack saw you, he knew you had some potential, but you going in, I mean, you were looking at going into karate, and it just wasn't physical enough for you. I mean, can you talk about, why you got started in boxing and what kind of drew you to boxing after, trying to kick the karate thing and it didn't work out?
You said martial arts, it just wasn't enough for me. There was nothing going on there that kept my interest in it. Just took too long to learn, no contact. I went down to the boxing gym and, just hitting the bags and everything in the hands. And then after the first couple of times I started sparring, it was one of them type things where you go in, you're constantly got some type of action going on. Also at the same time you're learning, you're getting disciplined. It was just something that I fell in love with. Plus, I was boxing, when I was a baby. Down at my buddy's house, who lived across the street. We used to get the old cooking timers out and the Vaseline, and his dad had the mold gloves, and we'd beat up on each other there.
That sounds like a good time. Your parents, I mean, they weren't to put it, bluntly, they weren't really happy that you were going into the boxing thing, and quite honestly, they thought that you would do it for a little while and then you would kind of just grow out of it.
They supported the idea, and they did want me to kind of give up on it after so long. But then once I just kept going and going, and they seen that I loved it, and it was something that made me happy, and I was putting a lot of time into it instead of going out and getting in trouble. I think that kind of made them happy. But yeah, they weren't big fans of it. Still ain't. But they support me and they help out with as much as they possibly can.
Yeah, one thing that, a boxer, it definitely helps is that support group that you have from your family. And your family, I mean, is there supporting you 100%. How important is that for you to have your family right there by your side, helping you each step along the way towards your ultimate goal, becoming the middleweight champion of the world?
Oh, it's huge. The confidence factor, the comfortability factor, On the business part, having people around that's close to help, watch over certain things that you do or give you good advice. Help you stick to the right diet. They make the food for you where you have no choice but to eat it. There's just so many different things that it benefits to have family that supports you, where they're not overwhelming, where they're not demanding and pushing you, but where they're just behind you and let you make the decisions, but guide you in the right way.
The devastating punching power that you possess. I mean, when you started off as an amateur, talking to your trainer, Jack Lowe, I mean, you didn't have a lot of pop. Then all of a sudden, just one day, it was like night and day difference. I mean, the pop started coming. Could you feel it? I mean, could you feel the difference in your punches? This is back as an amateur. I mean, because you were stopping kids as an amateur as well.
Yeah, I just grew into my body at that age, and the maturity came. Everything just started, coming along naturally, and I think that's what it was.
The revenge factor, I mean, is it there for you, or have you totally just put it out of your mind when you're thinking about Jermaine Taylor?
8 years ago?
Right.
Like I said, I just came out of the junior Olympic division. That was like my fourth tournament in the open division. It was like playing TV football when you're in the NFL, and just like going back to a game there, and so it really don't make sense to harp on that with the revenge thing, because it's totally different game now. We're in the pros, and now I got the experience behind me, so I just like the new Taylor.
Yeah, the pro style better suits you. There's no doubt about that, with the smaller gloves and everything. Kelly, Youngstown, Ohio. I mean, you started your training there. Obviously, you did a couple of bouts out in Vegas, and you were training out there. Now you like training in Youngstown. It's your hometown. You love being there. How important is it for you to represent the city of Youngstown and to represent it in such a fabulous way as you have so far in your professional career?
Well, it's very important. Youngstown, we have really not much going on right now. So I think just to go out there and put us back on the map would be huge for the area.
Jermaine Taylor has come out just this week and said he's going to make it a fight. He hasn't been involved in just an all-out brawl. So now he's saying that he's going to come to fight. Do you believe it? And if so, I mean, what are you expecting out of Jermaine Taylor?
I think he's going to come like he did against Zuma. He's going to try and brawl a little bit. I think once I land a punch on him anywhere on his body, he's going to retreat back to the running and try to survive. So we'll see how he adapts to being in there and having somebody throwing 70 punches, 80 punches around, if not more, with power on each one of them shots.
Kelly, you do some just uncharacteristic things when it comes to your training. I was there watching you train for Edison Miranda, and you were sledgehammering a huge tire. You do swimming. You got your weightlifting program. You got any tricks up your sleeve? Can you tell us on any of the little more uncharacteristic things that you may be doing in this training?
We got a really, really good one that not too many professional boxers do at all. It's hard to explain, but it's not including weights, but it's kind of with sledgehammer, fire hoses, chains, tires, tractor tires. So.
What got you in, and how do you learn about these different kind of training methods?
Well, this one, a lot of the NFL players, defensive backs, are this workout. Ultimate Fighting, it's more of an explosive for speed and strength and muscle endurance and cardio. So it's like everything put into one. A guy by the name of Paul Dunleavy and Mitch opened up a gym, and it's called the Iron Man Warehouse. And it's just unbelievable to what we do there, how the workouts go and everything.
Well, Kelly, we're 3 weeks out. Jermaine Taylor is next up on the agenda for the middleweight championship of the world. You truly earned that ranking that you have, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck to you. And I will be in Atlantic City to see you partake against Jermaine Taylor on September 29th. Best of luck, Kelly. Thanks for taking the time.
Well, thank you, Antonio.
That was Kelly the Ghost Pavlik, undefeated #1 ranked middleweight contender out of Youngstown, Ohio. He's 31-0, 28 knockouts. He will be taking on Jermaine Taylor Saturday, September 29th, live on HBO, Taylor is the middleweight champion of the world. He's 27-0-1 with 17 knockouts, and this one is going to be a barn burner, fight of the year candidate, no doubt about it, as most of Kelly Pavlik's fights have been.